Just had some handymen come through. They smell so strongly of WD-40. I feel inadequate. You see that, like, this is the thing I think a lot of dudes feel around handymen, because dudes are meant to be handy. Like, if you're a dude and you can't fix your fucking car, the fuck is wrong with you? I don't feel that way, but you know who does? Society, man. And that's not good. I had a friend say to me recently,
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
I posted a picture of the new attic on my personal Instagram, and a friend messaged me and he's like, "You do that floor yourself?" And I messaged him back and I was like, "Buddy, I've been a YouTuber for 10 years. Unless that floor needs a 15% discount to ExpressVPN, there's fucking nothing I can do for it." Too sleepy for this. As a woman, I'm very confused as to why men have such rigid standards for themselves and each other. The answer to that is really simple and sad. Too sleepy, and it's because we make them like that. It's because, and like, okay, this isn't like a men have it so much worse than women like shit. I think everyone has it hard in really different, really different, non-comparable ways.
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
But I think, like, you know, and I think it's getting better. Like, when I see the younger generation of dudes, like a lot like Gen Z and stuff, I'm kind of like, oh, these young men are so much more like socially clued in, so more socially. But like when I was growing up, especially, like the way you are contorted into this box of masculinity is fucking insane. And I would say, like, some of the people I know who were the worst for it were girls, you know, because they had been taught to expect certain things from you, and if you didn't like fulfill that, like they would just be like, what the fuck? And like, I grew up in Ireland, so there was maybe an added layer of it. I was actually thinking about this recently. I've started fighting a lot more. So right now I'm fighting about 4 times a week. 2 sessions of grappling, 2 sessions of striking. I was in boxing class the other day, and I've been going to boxing pretty consistently for the last 7 or 8 months maybe, and it's gotten to the point now where, like, I think I have the basics of boxing down. If we spar and you don't know how to box, I will probably light you up a little bit. Like, that is the level I'm at. Against an experienced boxer, against someone who's like, against someone who really knows what they're doing, I'll get destroyed. No question at all. It's not like I'm amazing or anything. But a lot of the time what happens when you're sparring men in boxing is they want to rush you.
That's right, boys. Mondo
and they want to dominate you. You know, they want to get in and they want to really make you feel like you are not going to be able to keep up with them or compete with them. After there was a while, like, I just didn't know what to do when that was happening. And then I really started to put a lot into my jab and spend a lot of time working on my jab. And I have a jab now that I'm pretty proud of. I have a jab now that, like, hits pretty regularly. And I've learned that, like, when a man rushes you and you want him to stop, a short, quick jab to the nose will make sure he doesn't do that again. And if 1 doesn't work, 2 most likely will. If 2 doesn't work, 3 will nearly definitely work, and I have never had to do past that. But I was in a spar with this dude. He was a lot bigger than me, like a lot. I would say maybe he was like a foot taller than me. He came at me, and immediately I could see the pattern. I was like, this dude is going to try and swarm me. He's just going to try and overwhelm me. So I reached out. I smacked him with a jab, just like right kind of like in the jaw. And he kind of backed off for a second, and he came again. And same thing happened again.
That's right,
smacked him with a
boys.
jab.
Mondo cool.
So then he did it a third time. A third time he came at me, and a third time I hit him. And this time, like, I put some mustard on it, you know? He slowed, and like he was like a little stunned, but he wasn't really slowing down either. Like, he did back off a bit, but he was still like, he was taking these big wild swings. And I go, and like, so in my head at that point, I'm like, okay, this guy like isn't respecting my attacks. This guy isn't, like, he's not understanding the difference here. So what I have to do now is I'm going to take 20 seconds and I'm going to open up on him. And I'm just going to show Just to show him, like, no malice, not like trying to fuck the dude up or anything, but just show him, listen, if you don't concentrate on your defense, this is what's going to happen to you. And so I went in, I hit him with 2 jabs, I hit him with a straight, I hit him with a hook to the body, and dude is fucking out. Like, he's gone. And I can see in his eyes, he's gone. And I'm like, fuck! Like, because this is... I don't want to do that to a sparring partner in training. Now, like, he's still standing, and, like, he doesn't really know where he is for a second. Like, I can see, like, he's just out. So I back off. I'm like, sorry, mate, you're all right. You're okay. We'll take it real slow. We'll take it real slow the rest of the match. You know, he recovers when we get back into it, and, like, he's a little timid, but he's fine. He's fine, you know? And, so after the match, he comes up to me, and he goes, listen, I could tell that you were only really trying there for a little bit, and next time we spar, I want you to try as hard as you can for the entire fight. And I kind of just looked at him, and I was like, yep, okay, sure. And, like, I don't know if it was because I was littler than him, or I don't know what it was, but to me, what a fucking insane thing to say to someone who just, like, nearly knocked you out. I wish I had said to him, like, in sparring, we don't do that. In sparring, we're just testing each other's limits, we're finding the hold in each other's guards, and we're just working on technique. Like, we don't do that. And the only reason I did for a couple of seconds is just I needed him to respect my attacks, because I didn't want him to keep kind of like coming in on top of me. I feel like that happens sometimes. You find lads in martial arts, and like, it's always lads. I have never had a girl do this. They want to like, after a fight, they want to tell you to beat the shit out of them next time, like, do it harder or do it worse. But it's like, oh mate, like, if I did that, like, all the way through the fight, like, that'd be like a bit dangerous. And like, that would be, you know, it'd be one thing if we were fucking boxing for an Olympic gold, but like, I'm going to my favorite pancake place after this, you know. I'm like, I'm chilling after this. We just labbing, bro. Exactly, yeah. Some dudes just refuse to learn. See, I think he will. I just thought, you know, next time we'll just fucking go for it. You know, just go for it. Don't hold back at all. And it's like, do you want to die? Like not like, again, Jesus, not that I'm like a fucking crazy boxer or anything. It's just literally someone who knows the basics of boxing versus someone who doesn't, you know? And it was, I was just thinking about that, and I was like, man, what do we do to men? You know, what do we teach them? Oh no, he got shook, so he needs to be like, no, not like that. Yeah, and like, just to be clear, I'm not talking shit about the dude. Like, I don't think this is a personal problem with him. I think it's just how we tend to teach men to be. Like, you know, every man has to be the toughest fucking dude in the room. Like, men are so scared of losing a fight. You know, men are so scared of, you know, being like proven inferior to another man. And like, it's because we raised them to be like that. Like, I was fucking terrified of that when I was little. I always thought how like losing a fight was like the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Like, God, I was so scared of losing fights. I was like, oh man, like, imagine losing a fight. Like, imagine someone actually kicking your ass, and like, it would hurt, but also like, it's humiliating. Like, and I was so scared of that. And then I started doing martial arts. I started at this taekwondo place, and it was semi-contact, which means like basically kickboxing rules. It wasn't the fucking Looney Tunes shit you see at the Olympics, whatever that is. I remember I joined, and no one knew joined that training hall for a year, an entire year, which meant I was the bottom rung for an entire year, and I got the shit beaten out of me. My fucking God, there was this guy there called Steven, and Steven was a, like, I'd say 6'4", like, as a teenager, like 6'4", like 220 pound just engine of destruction. And I remember Steven's kick sailing by me and just feeling the force from like his foot and just being like, that would have fucking crushed my skull. I nearly just died. And I sure as fuck never went up to Steven being like, Steven, next time really kick my ass, because I didn't want to die, you know. And I lost so many fights. Like, I lost so many fights. Like, over and over and over and over. Just getting my ass whooped, you know? Then eventually new people joined below me. And I would kick their asses. And then, like, I think I eventually got to the point where I was pretty decent. And I actually knocked Steven out one time. One time I knocked him out. I jumped up and I hit him with a side kick to the chin. And he just goes down on one knee and he just goes, that's it. Now, Steven kicked my ass many a time. After that, I wasn't better than Steven. There was no getting better than Steven. Like, that dude was so fucking tough. Like, Christ almighty, what, just a beast, you know? But yeah, so I got my ass kicked for a long time, and then I finally stopped getting my ass kicked, and I was like, I like this better. And then I stopped doing Taekwondo when I kind of entered the workforce, because I was like, I don't want to damage my hands, you know, because then I won't be able to work. And I didn't do martial arts for like 10 years, probably. I did lots of weights, I did lots of exercise. I got pretty like bulky for a minute there. And then I started doing YouTube, Life Lost All Meaning, as happens when you do YouTube, and I decided I needed to find value outside of YouTube, and that led me to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Walked in my first day, black belt of this other martial art, 10-year veteran of getting my face punched in, was immediately tapped out by a Norwegian girl who was smaller than me. You know, the thing about Jiu-Jitsu is it's fucking humbling. You know, there is no, I got some good ones in on Jiu-Jitsu. You know, in Jiu-Jitsu, you face another person and they bring you to the point where you give them the physical indication that you cannot continue, that they have bested you, and you have to submit, you have to tap out. And I think that is such a great experience. I wish we would teach jiu-jitsu in schools. I wish we'd teach it to young girls for self-defense, and I wish we'd teach it to young boys just to show them you can lose a fight and it's fine. It's not a big deal. Like, the way you get strong is losing fights, you know? I always remember one of my friends, she married an American lad. I think, like, from the way he used to talk, him and his friends had like a little fight club, I guess, like a backyard, one of them. And I remember talking to him once and him being like, oh, I've never lost a fight. And like, I didn't say anything, but I just kind of stood there, like kind of sat there, and I just thought of the literal hundreds of fights I've lost. And I was just like, I bet this dude can't fight. You know, that kind of way. So then anyway, like, I spent 5 years like learning jiu-jitsu, learning gi jiu-jitsu. Completely fell in love with it, like more so than I ever had with Taekwondo. I loved it so much. Then I had to move, and I moved here, and I had to stop doing gi jiu-jitsu, and I had to take up no gi jiu-jitsu, and that was about 6 months ago. And the first class, I felt so fucking lost. For any jiu-jitsu practitioners, we were doing K-guard, we were doing octopus guard, we were doing all this shit I had never touched, and I genuinely felt like a fucking amateur again. Like, I genuinely felt like I am back to square one. God damn it. And like, there were some beasts in the new class as well. One of my first fights was against real, like, just a dude in his early 40s. This bald dude in his early 40s, kind of slim build, not especially powerful looking or anything. And that dude ping-ponged me around that hall like there was no fucking tomorrow. I could not touch him. Everything he did resulted in me going down. He took me down so many times, he fucking let me up. You know, like, that's how good this guy was. And I was like, it felt like, imagine going shopping to your local to your local shopping center, your local Tesco, and fucking Cthulhu is sitting behind the desk. You know, that's what it was like. That's how fucked up it felt. So I went home and I went on the place's website, and then I clicked about, and then I saw founder, and it was his picture, and I was like, oh, okay. that's what's happened there. So then But, you know, I've kept at it. I kept at the no-gi, and now I'm still not great at, like, leg locks, and I'm still not great at all the kind of weird no-gi leg guards and all that kind of stuff. But I have actually developed, like, enough knowledge about it where I'm able to counter that stuff, and I'm able to get... I know what I'm doing if someone puts me in waiter guard. I know that's not going to mean nothing to, like, most of you, but I know. And then I took up boxing, because I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment and literally cannot stop taking up martial arts and starting from the bottom again. And, you know, the first boxing session I had, I thought that, like, my taekwondo would kind of help me. The first time I boxed, I genuinely felt like I was trying to play a fighting game with my controller unplugged. Just absolutely lit up by everyone in there. Again, felt like, fuck, man. We're starting at the bottom again. Like, it's like, what's this, like a 4th time that we're doing this? Like, pushing 40, learning, like, boxing. I was like, this is crazy. But I stuck with it again. And I did personal training sessions.
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
I got a really, really great trainer. His name's Val. And Val taught me orthodox boxing. He taught me Philly shell boxing. And he started teaching me Soviet boxing. Val's from the Ukraine. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna teach you Soviet boxing. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'd go away for, like, kind of months at a time, and I'd just do training sessions with Val and bag work, and, like, that's all I'd do. And I didn't know, like, if it was actually helping, because I wasn't really fighting people that much. And then about 2 months ago, I had a sparring workshop. And I swear to God, it was like the fucking Matrix. You know, it was like, all of a sudden, I could actually fight, and I could actually box, and... that was the session where, like, that's the session I talked about earlier, where that dude was like, no, beat the shit out of me, you know? I was able to compete with most people in there, and then, of course, there was a few more experienced people who, you know, were very, very difficult fights, but I felt like I knew what I was doing, you know? And so since then, I've kind of gradually done it, and I've just decided that just all I want to do is fight. You know, I just want to fight as much as I can. Like, as much as my body will let me. And so now, twice a week grappling, twice a week striking. I don't have any... My dad took me aside recently, and he was like, John, like, where's this going? Like, what are you going to do? And I was like, Dad, it's not going anywhere. Like, I have no plans for this. There's no bigger picture. I just fucking love to fight so much, you know, like, it makes me so happy. Like, I was grappling this morning, and I got my ass kicked. I fought a purple belt who's about a foot taller than me, and, like, kind of, like, not super wide but strong. And after about 3 minutes, he tapped me, and the whole fight was just grueling. Like, just this grueling exercise in misery where, like, he's crunching me down, he's cutting off my options, and I'm getting claustrophobic, and it's just, oh, it fucking sucked. And then it ended, and I felt like $1 million fucking dollars. You know, it's like, whatever other shit is bothering me, it ended. You know, like, because all of a sudden, I don't want fucking AJ to like rip my arm off, so I can't think about any of that other shit. So I had that conversation with my dad, and I was like, it's not going anywhere. I'm not planning on doing anything. And then a little part of me, chat, was like, what if I just did one cage fight? Just one cage fight. What if I just went in there, got knocked out immediately, got carted out to the hospital, and could just say I did it? I'm whispering because I don't want Michelle to hear that, because she'll freak the fuck out. Yeah, that's what's on my mind. Do Creator Clash instead. So there was a point, and like it didn't work out for a variety of reasons, and like it but there was a point where Creator Clash was like on the cards. Yeah, it just, timing of things, shit just didn't work out. I don't know if I would consider it again, but maybe, we'll see. But what if you won the cage fight? No, you see, like, I have no illusions about like being able to compete in MMA. Like, because even,
that's right, boys. Mondo cool.
Even at like even at 4 training sessions a week, that is still the territory of rookies and hobbyists, you know? And that's all I am. Like, I am just a hobbyist martial artist. Like, for whatever else I might say, I like martial arts are a hobby to me. YouTube video shit, that is what I excel at. That is what I try and be good at. That is what I try and really, really push my limits on. Damn, John, you're really selling me on starting a boxing class I've come across. Do it! Do it! You have no idea how freeing it is to get your ass kicked. Because after that, you're fine! After that, who gives a shit? I got a boxing gym on my way to work every day. I passed. I think about joining. I always feel like I'm too old. 30. Ultra peg leg cat. I was 29 when I took up jiu-jitsu. No, I wasn't. That's not true. I was 29 when I started my YouTube channel. I was 31 when I took up jiu-jitsu. I was 37 when I took up boxing. Okay? I can't get myself excited about fighting. I don't have the competitive spirit, but I'm trying to pick up climbing. So you see, the thing is, with me, fighting like isn't competitive. You know, it's not about domination, and it's not about kicking someone's ass. It's like when you fight and there's someone standing across from you and you're standing across from them, and you're going to give everything you can into taking them down, and they're going to do the opposite with you, and you're both even. It's like a fucking wind tunnel. You know, it's that thing that surfers try and hit. You know, like the tube inside the wave, where it's like, for a moment, they're just surrounded by a wave. And it's like, they describe how it's like white noise and nothing else exists. Something similar happens in fighting. And it's kind of flow state, but it's kind of not. It's kind of something else as well, because it's like, it's also a survival thing. It's a struggle thing. It's like, you have to be in that moment. So I guess it is kind of flow state stuff. You have to be in that moment so purely. But then in that moment, you're encountering this other person, and you're seeing how they fight, and you're seeing what they believe in, like what they consider strong about themselves, what they think are their weaknesses. And man, you can just tell so much from a person by how they fight. And you don't even have to fight them. Arm wrestle your friends. You know, see who doesn't give a shit and see who really tries. And it's fascinating. It's never the people you think it's gonna be. You know, I love that stuff so much. Sometimes you really see like the kind of darkness in people, you know, as well. I always remember there was this, when I was a white belt, there was this blue belt, and he was really fucking cool. He had been doing jiu-jitsu way longer than me, and he'd like, you know, stay behind, and he'd like show me moves, and he'd give me advice and all this kind of stuff. And then he went away for a couple of months. I don't know what happened to him. But when he came back, I had been doing jiu-jitsu pretty frequently. You know, I'd been doing it for like quite a while. And I think maybe he underestimated me in the spar, and I ended up getting him in side control, and I couldn't believe that. I could not believe I was locking this dude in side control. And then when I did, I managed to get my way to an Americana and pull the Americana. For people who don't know, that's like an arm lock. And I was like, oh fuck, I did it. I tapped him. I did it. He stands up and he's like, fucking hell. And I was like, oh shit. And he turns around to me and he goes, don't wrench the fucking Americana, Jesus Christ. And he storms out. When you wrench a submission hold, it means when you get it in and you drag it and you pull it. And to me, that's not what I did. And it was like this really disappointing moment, because like I thought he'd think that was cool. You know, I thought he like would be kind of, I guess, I don't know, like proud that, like, you know, I'd listened to his lessons and I paid attention. It was really like, man, that sucks. And like I went up to him afterwards and I was like, listen, mate, like, because he was a higher grade than me, and I was like, apologies, that was not intentional at all. And like he could kind of calm down. He's like, it's okay. But that let me see like there was like an insecurity to this dude, you know. And it was weird, because he was so positive and chill every other time I ever spoke to him. Same thing happened, well, a kind of similar thing happened once, where we had a guy in, and I had never seen him before, and like I always asked the new people, always, like, have you done grappling before? Like, how experienced are you? And like, this is kind of down to my own inexperience as well. He kind of looks at me and he kind of goes, and so I can't remember what he said, but he was like, oh yeah, mate, like, let's just both bring it 100%. And I was like, fuck yeah, okay, let's do it. I smashed that dude. I think I tapped him out like 3 times before
That's
I realized
right,
like
boys. Mondo cool.
before I realized like, oh.
New vid was great.
So then at the end, like he kind of sits down, and I kind of sat down with him, and I was like, so mate, here's what's happening. You keep trying to do a double leg on me, and when you do, you leave your head on the outside, so I'm able to guillotine you, and I got you with that a couple of times there. But if you keep your head on the inside, I'm not going to be able to do that. And he kind of just leans back and he goes, nah, I'm just fucking shit at this. And like, I was like, no, you're not shit. You're not shit. You're just starting off. Like, that's the same for everyone, you know? And he was like, nah, I just fucking suck. And he never came back to training, you know? And I think I've told this story before, but it's like, I always felt kind of bad about that. Like, I wish I'd gone easier on him. I wish I had copped sooner that like he wasn't experienced, you know? Because like I never want to be the reason someone stops doing jiu-jitsu. And so yeah, that made me sad. And it's like, he's not an asshole for feeling that way, you know? Like he obviously that experience touched in something in him that like he just kind of wasn't ready to confront. But yeah, this is my long way around of saying I wish that we'd teach men that like losing's okay, and that like it's okay to fail at shit, because I think the constant fucking you know, you gotta dominate, you gotta blah, 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 all that fucking shit, I think all that does is it segments off a certain section of men that function in that kind of mentality and destroys the rest. And I think that's a real bummer. John the Newbie Crusher. No, that's not what I want to be. Yeah, and like again, obviously none of that is intended as any kind of like men have it really hard and women don't. Like it's absolutely not what it's about. But yeah, my dad always told me you learn more from failures than success. Great, you do though. You do. I've gotten my ass kicked more than most people ever will. Like over and over and over. I've been knocked out, I've been choked out, I've been tapped out, I've been beat with every fucking submission under the sun. You know, I've been concussed, I've gotten black eyes, I've, you know, ripped my foot open, I've injured my back. It's like I have lost a fight in so many. I nearly lost to a fucking buggy choke recently. Nearly. Losing just really sucks when you practice long. Yeah, but like, in the grand scheme of things, dude, there's no one loss that's gonna define you. You know, like maybe if you're a professional athlete or something like that. So right now I have like, okay, let me count the individual like rounds I do. I fight like, so I probably fight about 16 rounds a week or somewhere thereabouts at this point. And like, do you know how silly the idea of like one individual loss defining that is? Like, it's John, didn't you lose to another little girl? Okay, this segment's over. This segment's fucking over. We're done. I no more questions. John, are you familiar with Podge and Raj, A Scare at Bedtime? How do the puppets compare to fights with little girls? Do you think you'd be... What the fuck? Okay, I have reached out to the little girl's parents to try and organize a rematch, okay? He's going toxic. Didn't you just talk to how losses occur? I didn't lose to the little girl. I tactically found a way out of that conflict, okay? I made her think she had won. So fucking... Okay. A mate sent me a... They were on /squared circle, and people were talking about my videos positively, from what I understand, which is, you know, no, that's great. So this is what someone said. This is from Boss Character from /squared circle. Very good watch. Sue/John is a fantastic content creator who can do this kind of stuff on a variety of subject matters. So sweet. And the dude is even involved from time to time with indie wrestling where he lives just because he loves the business so much. You gotta respect that. What a lovely comment. What a genuinely fantastic piece of text. Oh, you know what? There's a third paragraph here. Why don't I read that too? He did almost get choked out. Probably did get choked out by a little girl while he was practicing BJJ though. But when sleeper is put in deep, it doesn't matter the size of the person you are going to sleep. Why do people focus on that? Why do I tell you people anything? John, I thought losing doesn't matter. Yeah, look, it doesn't matter. I didn't lose. It wasn't an official match. She snuck up behind me. Look, it's not. Okay, I'm done talking about martial arts. Okay, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get, chat.